because the Titans are going to try to improve their team. But I got to start with this today. I got to start with a YP topic. Ian, what does YP stand for?
You people?
You people. I got to start with a you people topic because yesterday I put out a poll on my Twitter at Jared Stillman, and I will retweet that poll right now. And I put the poll out, and I said, who do you want to be the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans in 2023? Not who do you think it will be, not talking about cap and trade and salary signing bonus. Just who do you want? Who do you want to be the quarterback? 3 options. Because I would love for Joe Burrow to be the quarterback of the Titans too, but that's not going to happen. So who do you want to be the quarterback? Ryan Tannehill, Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers? Our poll still has 4 hours to go, so we'll update it throughout the course of the show. 41% of you people voted for Ryan Tannehill. 37% voted for Aaron Rodgers. 22% voted for Tom Brady, the greatest player who ever lived, who just was 3rd in the NFL in passing this year, even at 45 years old, on a terrible team with no running game. And I have to ask the question. I am not here to bag on Ryan Tannehill. That was last year after he blew the Bengals playoff game single-handedly, which in fact he did. But I have to ask you people this question. Why Tannehill? Of the 3 options, Tannehill, Brady, Rodgers, why Tannehill? What is the redeeming quality here? Again, not to make today about bagging on Ryan Tannehill, but I do think that we need to have some sort of a reality check today about the difference between your mediocre to fine quarterback and these Hall of Famers. So I went and ran the numbers over the last 3 years. So since some of us made the inexcusable and inexplicable decision to choose Ryan Tannehill over Tom Brady, of which I am guilty of in 2020. Since then, I ran the numbers. Record, Aaron Rodgers is first. By the way, Aaron Rodgers, now he did win 2 of 3 MVPs over this stretch. Aaron Rodgers is first in a lot of these categories. But record, Aaron Rodgers is first. Brady and Tannehill are actually tied at 64% of their games having been won. That being said, though, Brady's won more games because he's been healthier than Tannehill, and Tom Brady is 5-2 in the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill, both at home, both when he's favored, 0-2. Completion percentage, Ryan Tannehill is 3rd. Touchdown passes, 67. That's 3rd. Aaron Rodgers has 111. Tom Brady has 108. Again, they almost have double the touchdown passes of Ryan Tannehill. Interceptions, Brady is actually the worst at 33. Tannehill has 27th. That's 2nd. Again, Rodgers is the best. Quarterback rating, Ryan Tannehill, 3rd over the last 3 years. Rodgers is 1st, Brady's 2nd. Yards per game. And again, I know that yards don't mean everything, but yards per game, when you have this large of a sample size, probably tells us who's capable of throwing the ball the most, or if you need to outshoot a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen, who can hang with those guys? Who can bring you back when you're down 25 points in a playoff game against Matthew Stafford and the Rams? It's not Ryan Tannehill. Yards per game, Brady's first at 287.4. Excuse me, that's in the playoffs. Brady's first at 293 yards per game. Rodgers is second. Tannehill is 3rd at 224 yards per game. So Tom Brady throws for roughly 70 more yards per game than Ryan Tannehill. In the playoffs, this is where it gets kind of ugly. In the playoffs, quarterback rating, Rodgers is shockingly first ahead of Brady. Yards per game, Brady. Wins, Brady. Rating, Tannehill is 3rd. Yards per game, 3rd. And here's the yards per game. In the playoffs, Brady 287.4, Rodgers 247.1, Tannehill 192.5. And they lost both games. In fact, they were trailing in most of those two games. How could you want Ryan Tannehill? Objectively speaking, how could you want Ryan Tannehill over Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? I understand the argument of Tannehill is younger than the two. But guess what? Ryan Tannehill's more injured than both of them. He misses more games. I understand the idea, too, about, Tannehill knows the system, and Tannehill's been a part of this, and they haven't won a playoff game over those 3 years. It wasn't like coming in here to face the Titans were the 1972 Dolphins or the 1985 Bears or the 2000 Patriots. It was an average Ravens team, which averaged for what the Ravens have been, which is good, and a Cincinnati team that scored 19 points and gave up 9 sacks. What has Ryan Tannehill done that has been overly special? And this past season, I defended Tannehill a lot, and I do think Ryan Tannehill is on par with pretty much everybody else who's not an elite quarterback in the NFL. I said this earlier today when Joe and Robbie were just talking about how great Jalen Hurts is. Even though Jalen Hurts threw for 121 yards, was never trailing, got the benefit of a great call, a bad coaching decision by San Francisco, and had to play no quarterback and didn't have to throw. And I said, let's put Ryan Tannehill on an all-star team like Philadelphia, and he'll make the Pro Bowl too. I've seen it, and so have you. And that's true. But again, all those guys are beneath Rodgers and Brady. And I'm not saying, hey, that 41% of the people, 41% in this poll voted for Ryan Tannehill over Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. It has me wondering, what is the matter with some of you people? People were tweeting me last night. Somebody said, I'd rather just go with Malik Willis and Josh Dobbs. What? Have you people ever watched football before? I do not understand it. I do not. When we think about Ryan Tannehill, I think there's two sides to this coin. I think there's the first side, which is that he is to be commended for what he did for this franchise. The fact that they were 2-4 and they made the quarterback switch and Tannehill brought him a shot of the arm and they finished 9-7 and they went on the road without him throwing over 100 yards in either game, but they beat the Patriots and they beat the Ravens and they made it to an AFC championship game. And then they won a lot of regular season games the next year, and then they won a lot of regular season games the year after that. That's it. One Pro Bowl. And again, Tyler Huntley just made the Pro Bowl today, so I don't know how important that is. One Pro Bowl, one Comeback Player of the Year award, and that's it. Aaron Rodgers has won 2 of the last 3 MVPs. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. Tom Brady came back from a 25-point deficit in the playoffs last year. Tom Brady threw for 423 yards against the Carolina Panthers on New Year's Day to get Tampa Bay, that horrible, wretched franchise, into the playoffs this past year. What did Tannehill do? Tannehill didn't beat anybody. The best team Tannehill beat all season was probably Aaron Rodgers' Packers team. I mean, I like Tannehill fine. But I don't know how you can pick him over Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers have aged better than Ryan Tannehill. At no point in Ryan Tannehill's career, at no point has he been better than either Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. How can you people, 41% of you, how can you people want want Ryan Tannehill over Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Sometimes I feel like I'm living on another planet. So that's the opening rant today that I had to get off my chest when I ran this poll. And I don't know what I was expecting. I really don't. But I saw somebody tweet out yesterday, oh, the mediocrity train just keeps rolling along. And I was like, that is so true. There are fans out here that are so comfortable with Tannehill that they don't even, that it's like, we don't want Tom Brady. We don't want Aaron Rodgers. We already did this 3 years ago. And you know how many playoff games you've won since then? 0. And yet you want to sign up for more of it? At age 35, coming off of an injury-plagued season? An injury that he couldn't play through where the elite quarterback for Kansas City could? What is wrong with you people? I do not get it. 615-737-1025. And I get if you're Rodgers over Brady. I'm Brady over Rodgers, but I get if you're Rodgers over Brady. But Tannehill over both of them? I do not understand. 615-737-1025. Somebody help me understand that one. Plus, the argument against Brady, because a lot of people have said this into the text line, they've called into the show, and they've said, hey, look, the Buccaneers weren't very good this year. Tom Brady's declining. And what the big boys at the table on Countdown had to say to that, we'll get to that next right here on Stillman and Company. And it actually sounds like the Titans could be what Brady needs. We'll get to that. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at noon.
That fits the mentality of what they're going to do.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace to talk all things Titans and NFL.
Much more creative in how you go about calling certain plays.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
That doesn't mean that you can't have great or don't need great quarterback play.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You can trek through the savannas of Africa. Wait on the magic moment on the Great Plains of North America. Or find the thrills of Patagonia. You can book your dream hunt at the SEI Convention, coming to Nashville for the very first time. Come find your adventure February 22nd through February 25th. It's the ultimate sportsman's market, a place for every hunter. And this year, it's happening Music City style, with special performances by Lee Brice, Big and Rich, The Frontman with Gretchen Wilson, and of course, Leonard Skinner. It's a celebration of the outdoor lifestyle, February 22nd through February 25th. Come find your adventure. Just log on to safariclub.org. One more time, that's safariclub.org. This convention will sell out, so reserve your spot today. Come find your adventure.
Hey, you think mortgage rates are still super high? Well, think again. Rates have plummeted to a 5-month low. Hey, Willie Donick here. Call my friends at Loan Pronto now to see how low rates are. It may be time to do that refinance you've been putting off, or time to get back to house hunting. If you're like a lot of people, you've got way too much credit card debt right now, and you're getting fleeced with 20+% interest charges every month, or maybe your current home rate is over 6%. So if that applies to any of you, listen, you can get a quick, easy refi at Loan Pronto. Wipe out all those cards. Close in about 14 days and cut your overall expenses by $500 a month or more. How does that sound to you? Right now, Loan Pronto is doing refis with APRs in the 4s. So call now to take advantage of this big rate drop. Get those credit cards to zero. Start that home improvement project, or get out of that 7% loan you were forced into last year. Here's the phone number, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The National Wild Turkey Federation is celebrating 50 years of conservation delivery during this year's Convention and Sports Show, set for February 16th through 18th at Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center in Nashville, Tennessee. Come celebrate the golden anniversary with members, volunteers, partners, and countless outdoor enthusiasts. You can expect the same great nightly events, quality entertainment in the watering hole, and the latest gear from more than 450 companies featured in their exhibit hall. For more info, go to nwtf.org.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
Anyone want to tell me what happened?
Did you miss any of today's show?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Subscribe to the Stillman and Company podcast on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms, or by going to thegamenashville.com.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
strong opinions, and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company, presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Adam, what do you know about the latest on Tom Brady?
Well, Sam, strange not to see Tom Brady playing today, and it would be equally as strange not to see him play next season. And even if he were to decide to play in 2023, the Miami Dolphins would not be expected to pursue Tom Brady. They've been linked to Tom Brady in the past. Remember, the NFL launched an investigation that found that they had been communicating with Tom Brady as early as August 2019 through that season, and it fined the Dolphins $1.5 million last year because of that prior investigation and the allegations that the Dolphins were involved with Tom Brady, and because of the commitment to Tua Tagovailoa right now, who the Dolphins want to have back as their starting quarterback. The Dolphins are not expected to be a potential landing spot for Tom Brady in the event that he does decide to come back and play in 2023.
What's the latest, Adam? The latest is he's not going to play for the Dolphins, which, by the way, I'm kind of skeptical on that, too. As far as Miami is committed to Tua and they're not interested in Brady. But then again, 41% of Titans fans say they'd rather have Ryan Tannehill as opposed to either Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Again, Rodgers is a lot closer to Tannehill in the poll voting at 37%. Brady in the 20s, I just think is crazy. Now, one thing I always get is I always read your text, and it is always, Brady's so old. Brady, he's done. He's as if Ryan Tannehill wasn't the one who got hurt and missed games last season. Not Brady. But Brady's old. Brady's hurt. Brady's not the same. Brady's not any good. That's what I get all the time, which I think is ridiculous because I think he carried that Tampa Bay team. And I said to Caroline when we were watching the Buccaneers practice for those 2 days against the Titans without Tom Brady, I said, that's a 4-win football team right there. And he doubled up the win total just by being him. And so Sam Ponder on Countdown asked the crew and said, hey, let's be real. Didn't Brady look like he kind of stunk? And listen to what Larry Fitzgerald had to say in response.
Are we not going to acknowledge, though, that this was a rough year for him? Like, this wasn't on everybody else.
Known.
This is a guy, you mentioned the Raiders. Tom Brady had a lower QBR than Derek Carr this year. And I'm not saying Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. We all know he's the best ever. I get it. But there was a lot I saw this year out of Tom Brady where you're thinking, that doesn't look like Tom Brady. Do you still feel like he's the guy where you just plug him in and you're good? You're a Super Bowl contender right away?
Well, obviously, he needs support. He needs help. When you rush the football at the rate that Tampa Bay rushed the football this year, he has no choice but to throw for the most attempts in the league history. Like, he had to do it all himself. And if he can go to a situation where he's not required to carry everything and he could just be a part of the process of being better and winning, I think that's much more fitting for him.
Oh, if he could be on a team that has a really good running back, then I think that will help. By the way, you do know there was a 10-year period in there in New England where they didn't win Super Bowls? And then all of a sudden they got Gronk and Julian Edelman became the favorite target and they got Chandler Jones and they reworked that defense. And oh, wow, shocking. People forget about that, but a 10-year gap in between championships for Brady. And Larry Fitzgerald is saying, yeah, he just needs some help. That Tampa Bay team, it was all on his shoulders. They had no running game. Gosh, if only I knew a team that had a running game.